Happy Tuesday, Astro lovers. It is indeed Tuesday, not Monday, because this is your astrologer's fifth time trying to record this podcast. When I tell you the technical difficulties that have been running rampant in Drunk Astro Studios, whoo, baby. And it all started on Saturday with the Sun-Mercury combustion in Aries. So I was trying to overly prepare because I had a boatload of readings on Sunday. And I was like, all right, I'm going to, because I Sundays are my day. I record the podcast, I schedule posts, and I write the newsletter. I do all those things. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, since I have a day full of readings, I'm going to, record the podcast Saturday, and then I'll write everything Sunday, and everything will go out per usual. Well, one epic fail, 2, 3, 4 epic fails later, here we are. So that's why you're getting your podcast a day late. Those of you on the newsletter, you already got your newsletter. I did get that out yesterday. If you're not on the list, make sure you click the link in the show notes and get yourself on the list for weekly horoscopes and some fun things that I'm going to be launching because I'm changing the paradigm for the cosmic fragrances that yours truly has customized. Right now they're in candles, they're in body oils, but I'm changing the infrastructure of how they're going to be released into the world. So, if you're not on the list, get yourself on the list. And just, let's just think about the last 2 weeks. And yours truly was gone on vacation in Tulum, Mexico, with my partner. One of my friends, David, got married to India down in Tulum, and we had an amazing time. And actually, the hat that I'm wearing right now, feather included, came from Tulum. And we were down there, and so I pre-recorded the last 2 weeks of podcasts, so I hope that you felt, that you were still in the know with what was going on in the stars. The vacation itself was phenomenal. We had some bumps in the road. 3 instances with corrupt cops later, we're still here. We didn't end up in jail. We didn't go to a hospital, which those were my 2 things that I made my partner, we made a pact at LAX, the airport. We said, okay, no matter what, we do not end up in jail and we do not end up in a hospital. So we did succeed. We made our pact and we stayed true, but we were trials and tribulations down there. But we really did have an amazing time, and I'm really proud of us for how we bounced back after each experience. We were like, no. I kept flashing forward and say, you know what? Future me is going to be really mad if I just go back to the Airbnb and just sulk and be angry. And, we aligned on that. So, a good lesson there, no matter where you're at, no matter what your circumstances are, they could always be worse. That was one thing, they could always be worse. And, to just think about future you. If you're in a moment where you're like, oh my God, I had all these plans. He and I had plans to go shopping and to, just like we had a scooter with one of our Airbnbs. And so we were taking the scooter everywhere. And, in the third and final instance we had down there, the cops stole our scooter off the beach and we had to pay them off. It was a whole thing. And, both of us were really mad, but I was like, you know what, just what do I need to give you in order to just get the scooter back? And, so we had gone to the beach just to kind of like have some beach time. And then we had all these plans afterwards. And neither one of us in the moment were really feeling like going through with our plans. And then that's when I said, oh my gosh, I just had a flash. I was flash forwarding to me flashing back. And I was like, future me is going to be really mad if I let this define the rest of my day, the rest of my trip. So why don't we just continue on and do what we're going to do what we plan to do, and enjoy ourselves. And we really did. We had like that night actually just ended up just being one of like the most fun nights we had together. And I was really proud of both of us. and really happy that we kept going. Because in the moment we were not we were not happy. We were, angry, scared, sad, like so many things, like, disappointed. It was just, there was a lot going on. So anyway, just passing on that little story, and just to share, I guess I think that's a good lesson to just kind of implement, like no matter what moment you're having, to just think about future you, and if it's something that's going to stop your plans, if you're experiencing something that, kind of like roadblocks you, but you had all these other things that, prior to the roadblock showing itself, you were going to do all these things, like push yourself to still do the thing. I mean, every situation is special. Everything is different. So, I don't want to be all preachy. But in a moment like that where, we had a choice, we had a decision that we could either go back and just be angry and, hate life, or just to continue on and enjoy ourselves. And because it was a choice, and in our situation, it was a choice, and we chose to enjoy ourselves. And I'm really glad that we did, because like, I just think about like the rest of that night, and it's like I think that was the night I got this hat. So, and a bunch of hats were purchased in this trip. One thing to note about Tulum, if you are a hat person like I am, like he is, to go to Tulum to get some hats, because we customize these hats. So many, the shopping is just divine. So if you haven't been to Tulum, I will say this: they are 120% aesthetic on point, but when it comes to function, things look really, really pretty, but the functionality of things weren't exactly on the same level of the aesthetic. So just take that with you. Not trying to be a travel blogger in this moment, but if Tulum is one of your destinations, like, that's what we experienced too. I know the hotel zone is different. I haven't actually stayed. This was my second time. I haven't stayed in the hotel zone before. And I know that one of my best friends did about a couple months ago. And, I think she had a completely different experience than we did. But, so the hotels are probably different. But if you go and do the Airbnb route, just know, aesthetic on point. I mean, the pictures that we got and the environments that they've built, and the food, baby, the food, so good. Okay, I'm getting off on a tangent, so I'm going to move on. If you have any questions about Tulum, if you want to like bounce ideas off, if you have anything to share about Tulum, so that the next time I go, because I would totally go back, and just, be more aware, be more conscious, and, just know what I'm getting myself into. But I would totally go back, like, because the first time I didn't even have any bad experiences at all. So, I think it's just one of those, crapshoots, like, learning curves. And we actually met another girl at our Airbnb who's, when we kind of said, like, this is what happened and this is what we've been experiencing, she goes, yeah, learning curve. I was like, oh my gosh, you're right. And with the astrology of everything that we're, that we're experiencing right now, and that we've been experiencing, and especially what we're building up to next week with the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction, 13-year cycle beginning and ending, and 166-year cycle ending and beginning. So we have this in the sky, and we've been having all these aspects with all these conjunctions, and we have one this week that was actually yesterday. We had Venus and Saturn conjunct last Monday. Yesterday, on Monday, April 4th, we had Mars conjunct Saturn. So these conjunctions are meeting points. So Venus does it every year. She comes to Saturn and goes, okay, all right, we worked together. We were disciplined, responsible with our money, our love, our affection, our desire, our relationships. We made a pact, we made a deal, and we ended one as well. So now we've already struck the deal from a Venus standpoint, So last Monday, it could have been a little sombering. It could have been, you might have to like kind of rewrite the rule book, because Saturn loves rules, and Venus is all about relationships. And that's actually one of the days that my partner and I had, like, where we're just like, okay, let's revisit our like, I guess, rule book, but not like rules like that, but more just like, okay, like, we're owning responsible emotional accountability and responsibility for each other. So with that, it's just like, okay, let's discuss how certain things affect us. And it was a great conversation, like we got some real, like, a new sense of clarity within our relationship. And it was like, oh, okay. And then yesterday with the Mars-Saturn conjunction, that came as just like, okay, now how are we going to move forward? Mars is all about action. What's our strategy? So when it comes to your work, when it comes to your dream, when it comes to your friends and your networks, how are you want to work together? What's the pact you're going to make? Now, the thing about Mars and Saturn meeting is that happens every 2 years, because Mars is slower. He's a slower mover than Venus. Venus moves through signs quicker than he does. And, they've been traveling close to each other, Venus and Mars. But now Venus is pulled away, and she's pulled away from Saturn too. So it's like, okay, now we can kind of breathe on that front. And now Mars comes and goes, okay, Saturn, like, this is what I want to do. This is who I want to do it with. And, and the two are really asking you, like, how do you want to move these next 2 years? And, and it's ending a 2-year cycle. So think back to March 31st of 2020, because that is the last time that Mars and Saturn met. Ring any historical bells? Ding, 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 ding. Saturn is about limitations and restrictions, and Mars is about how we move forward. So we had 2 years of that conjunction living through, going, okay, well, for the next 2 years, like, where I'm gonna restrict your movement. I'm gonna restrict how much you can do. I'm gonna limit you in a sense. And, we all had to pivot, and that was 2020's power word. We had to pivot. And with that, now we have this conjunction now, and when Mars gets a little bit further away, I would say by the end of the week, top of next week, Mars is going to get away from Saturn and, like, really start to just release us into the wild. And that's so it does look like we're really going to have, a new sense of freedom and a new sense of movement, for the next 2 years. This is like a cycle that's beginning, right? So we're ending March 31st, 2020, all the way to April 4th, 2022. And now April 2022 into 2024 when they meet again. So, we're entering a new chapter and we're ending another chapter. So, let's just hallelujah, hallelujah. Let's celebrate, huh? What? Okay. Brief dance and song break aside. It is something to celebrate. And as we're leading up to the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction in Pisces, which is the sign of infectious diseases and viruses and all of that, we're ending a 13-year cycle there. Think back to 2009. I believe it was November of 2009 with the last time they met up, and that was in Aquarius. Now they're coming to meet each other in Pisces, which, Jupiter co-rules Pisces. Neptune is the primary ruler of Pisces. So the two there, and it's time, risk-taking. This is a wave of pop culture phenomena. That's what we're starting. And remember, too, especially with a bigger cycle like this, beginnings are always rocky. They just are, right? Like, we have to work out the kinks. So we're going to be, find the Pisces area of your chart, see if there's any planets there, but what house or houses are involved, what planets are in those houses, because Jupiter and Neptune are coming and stimulating that part of your chart. And they're starting this big wave of a pop culture. I like to say pop culture because it's Pisces. So we're talking about music, dance, and poetry, and how we creatively express ourselves, how we emote, how we feel, how we process nostalgia and memories, and how we dream and float and create. There's a big wave coming. Which is really, it's positive in the sense that it's like, wow, we get this new chance to refresh and to restart. But we also, have a little bit of like, okay, it's time to say goodbye as well. And in general, with the astrology of just Aries season, things are happening at a rapid fire pace. You got the Sun in Aries, you got Mercury in Aries, Saturn's in Aquarius. We have that air and fire is really passionate and it moves really fast. So we are unfortunately experiencing a lot of fast loss, fast. Jupiter's in Pisces, Neptune's in Pisces. There's loss there. There's endings. There's getting closure and, grudges. So we have really rapid fire, within my own family, within my own family of friends. We've just been watching how just out of nowhere things are happening. We're losing loved ones. People are going to the hospital, and it's just like out of nowhere, and it's like, wait, where is this coming from? We're really accelerated, when you got the sun in Aries, but also Mercury there. They met up with each other, so it was news of really fast, just something happening really fast. So if you're experiencing that yourself, just go with just kind of like try and pull yourself back. Like the outside of you can be really, really fast, and we can try to control it. But it's best to like sit back and just say, let me not try to control this. Let me not try to control this speed. Let me just experience this and process this and give myself time. So that was one of the things I put in the newsletter. How fast should we really be going? Like especially in moments of loss, or in unexpected moments of someone going to the hospital that you love, someone close to you. You have to just go, okay, hold on, press the brake. I'm intentionally going to press the brake on myself so that I can be more present to what's actually happening in my environment, happening to someone I love, happening to someone I care about. So if you do find yourself in one of those moments, if you're already in that moment, and when there's a lot of air and fire in the sky, then it just requires you to go, okay, let me press the brake. Especially because Mars is in Aquarius, an air sign, and he's really high-minded, high cerebral, and he's thinking a lot. And he's really like, he's trying to think ahead. And when there's things happening in front of you, sometimes with a Mars in Aquarius, we can kind of detach and go somewhere else. And instead it's like, okay, let me intentionally press the brakes, and I'm gonna sit here and be more present. And this week though, things shift, right? So I don't think I said it in the intro, but this is the week of April 4th through the 10th. And we have 2 sign changes, right? So as of today, Tuesday, April 5th, Venus has already entered Pisces. She entered at 8:18 a.m. And then at the end of the week, Mercury's going to enter Taurus at 7:09 p.m. So we do have like a little bit of a bumpy week, just because you got 2 planetary shifts, Mars-Saturn conjunction on Monday. We have a Cancer quarter moon on Friday night on the West Coast, and then Saturday morning for the East Coast. And I will say in general, this week is busy, but with nice aspects up until we get to Friday. The weekend is particularly separative and argumentative, and a little emotionally volatile. A quarter moon in Cancer. Quarter moons are these balancing acts. So it's the midpoint between last week's new moon and next week's full moon. So in Cancer, we can all run very sensitive, very emotional, a lot of activity on the home front, and you just want to just know that this weekend can be an emotional experience. And it's really just asking like, okay, you've started something new. There's an initiation of something under last week's Aries new moon. And now, before we get to the full moon, where where a story is coming full circle, I need to kind of get this emotional experience out to kind of say, okay, where are you at in your new beginning? How are you feeling about your new beginning? How do you, what do you need to cut out? What do you need to pull back in? It's really just like this question of like, let's find some balance. Let's give ourselves some time. So you might need some good old R&R like on the home front with your family, with your chosen family, with friends, with your partner, whoever, maybe to yourself. Cancer is a homebody, and just like any good old water sign, can just need to kind of like crawl into a cave for a second. So if you do feel particularly emotional and sensitive or stressed this weekend, just don't feel a way about, if you just need to be alone, you need to be alone. It's all good. Because like the Cancer moon, like we have the quarter moon, but we also, that closing aspect is an opposition to Pluto, which is very separative and challenging. So let's talk about, yeah, all right, that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about the moons, and then we'll talk about the planets. And there's one special thing about this week that I definitely, I'm going to leave you with at the end of this episode. So, all right, let's talk about these moons, shall we? So, Monday, April 4th, the Taurus moon made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 aspects. So, Monday was particularly busy. It had a square to Mars, which is stressful action and argument. Sextile to Jupiter, that's really nice and expansive. A square to Saturn, ouch. Saturn, Astro Dad, like, man, you need to be more boundaried. Sextile to Neptune, that's nice and expansive. A trine to Pluto, that's great. Lucky changes, transformation. And then the Taurus moon went void at 6:53 p.m. All the times they give you are Pacific Standard, so be sure you adjust for your time zones. So void at 6:53 p.m. with a square to Venus. So that's stressful and challenging within relationships. But Venus is one of our benefics. Her influence is mainly positive. When she gets a square, might be a kerfuffle, but easily to should be an easy problem to find a solution for. At 8:04 p.m., the moon entered Gemini. Tuesday, April 5th, the moon is in Gemini all day. Has one aspect, a sextile to Chiron at 9:16 p.m. tonight. So really nice, the Gemini moon, chatty, connecting. Wednesday, another busy day. The Gemini moon makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 aspects too. But for the most part, they are positive and juicy, collaborative. Sextile to the Sun, a sextile to Mercury, trine to Saturn, square to Jupiter, and square to Neptune. So that's where you get a little bit of, and more like clarifying. Neptune is, he just likes to fog stuff up. And when you have a Gemini square, it's just like, all right, let's create dialogue. Let's just, it might make you nervous. It might feel like you're taking a risk because Jupiter's involved. But just the square is just like, let's just have a clarifying conversation. And then the Gemini moon goes void at 8:15 p.m. with a trine to Mars. So very productive, collaborative and juicy action taken under that Gemini moon today and tomorrow until 8:15 p.m. Then on Thursday, the moon enters Cancer at 8:30 a.m. and it just has a one aspect all day. It has a trine to Venus at 1:20 p.m. So that is a lovely, lovely day. Now, when the moon enters Cancer, you might already start to, kind of feel some of that quarter moon stress. So just keep that in mind, that even though we do have nice aspects on Thursday, that there could be a little bit of, you could just kind of start to get a whiff of some stress. Then on Friday the 8th, the Cancer moon has a square to Chiron, so that's a little bit of a wounding, a little bit of emotional experience, so keep that in mind. A sextile to Uranus at 11:28 in the morning. That's all great. The quarter moon takes place at 19 degrees, 24 minutes of Cancer. So you're going to find that part of your chart. You're going to find that degree, and you're going to see, because wherever that is happening, that's where you're going to feel the quarter moon stress, quarter moon call to balance. And that's at 11:48 p.m. So that's late for West Coast, and then late night, early morning for the East Coast. Cancer moon on Saturday goes, void at 6:01 p.m. with an opposition to Pluto. And all day Saturday, the Cancer moon just makes adjusting aspects. It does have a nice trine to Jupiter, trine to Neptune, so there are positive moments in Saturday, but in general, there's a lot of stress, separation, and you just want to just kind of like love on yourself and love on loved ones. Be around your core people that really make you feel good under this weekend, just because it's particularly stressful, challenging, and emotional. Then at 9 p.m. on Saturday, the moon enters Leo. The Leo moon makes no aspects the rest of Saturday, but on Sunday has adjustments to Venus, trine to Chiron, an adjustment to Uranus, and we'll talk about Sunday in a second because there's some aspects, including Mercury entering Taurus. The Leo moon on Monday the 11th makes adjusting aspects all day. And then the Leo moon goes void with an opposition to Mars. So the Leo moon is also, it's also a separative and argumentative. So, you just like this weekend is really just, you want to go easy this weekend. Just in general. But your great days are Monday night, which you've already got through, Tuesday and Wednesday. And then, the Gemini moon might be void 8:15 at night on Wednesday to 8:30 a.m. Thursday morning, but you can still work on existing projects and you can still be really productive, but just don't start anything new when the moon is void. That's the general idea. Okay, so now as far as that's the moons for the week, so you know that Tuesday, today, and Wednesday are your days to be really productive and for really positive things to move in a positive direction. And you just know that, from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, those days that like to, get rid of stuff, like Cancer moon, that quarter moon, get rid of things at the house that are energetically blocking you. That's a great day to like get stuff out and to cut out and to, I think that might be the day that I actually go through my closet again. I mean, those of you on the YouTube, you can see my closet. This is the one that's been highly designed and really nice, but it's what you don't see that's where things are getting a little crazy. So I think, actually, the last 4 days of this week, great times to go through and just get rid of things. And depending on where Cancer is in your chart, that's where you want. But Cancer in general is the sign of the home. So look around your home and go, okay, where do I have some dusty corners, piles of papers, where are things just collecting dust, and how can I just kind of refresh my home environment. We're in spring now, so it is time for a little spring cleaning. This weekend, Thursday through Sunday, great time for spring cleaning. And if you need to go through your emails and just think about, where in my life do I need some spring cleaning? Maybe it's in a relationship. Maybe it's in your desk drawer. Maybe it's around your home. Maybe it's in your car. But just kind of look around and go, all right, where do I need a little refresh? And that's a productive way to use the stressful aspects that are just around this weekend. Now, planetary-wise, Monday we had the Mars-Saturn conjunction. We've already talked about it. You're initiating and ending a 2-year cycle. And hip, hip, hooray that we're going to be able to, it looks as if we're going to be able to, really, move into a more free time of living. So that'll be nice. Then, as I said, Tuesday today at 8:18 a.m., Venus entered Pisces. Now, when Venus enters Pisces, she's considered exalted. So that means she's more magnetic, she's romantic, she's expansive, she's a little starry-eyed. And now what it does do is it really, water and fire. She kind of helps put out Sun and Mercury and Aries. She kind of helps put out their fire a little bit and slow us down a little bit, help us process. So we get a nice 4-week-ish time with her just kind of slowing things down, getting a little more dreamy, a little more floaty, and just kind of going more with our feelings in a nice way, and just kind of hey, okay, guys, let's calm all that fire down. So we like that. And of course, when she's in Pisces, she's going to be talking to Jupiter. She's going to be talking to Neptune. She's answering to them. So this is just overall just really nice because Jupiter and Neptune are both in signs that they really like. So that's great. Then we jump to Thursday the 7th. Mercury has a nice sextile to Saturn. So now this is okay, Mars comes and says, all right, this is my plan. This is my action plan. Now Mercury comes along and goes, okay, now who do we want to connect with? How do we want to, and this is supported collaboration. So, whoever you want to, whatever your ideas are, because Mercury's your thinking mind, think about, great ideas and great collaborations. You can come up with them, you can initiate them under Thursday's aspect. In addition to the quarter moon, Friday night / Saturday morning, Mercury has a nice sextile to Mars. So Mercury works with Saturn first and goes, ooh, I have this idea. Then on Friday, Mercury goes to Mars and go, okay, how do you feel about that? You want to do this? How's this? So it's great, you just kind of like get the idea of the sense of your structure on Thursday, and then on Friday you go, okay, let's talk about the plan. Let me share the plan. So that's great. Even though we have like the moon is making stressful aspects, there are still productive opportunities. Then on Sunday the 10th, which is Palm Sunday, we have a Mercury square Pluto, okay? And that's at 1:45 in the morning. So Sunday with that square to Pluto, Mercury's in Aries, about to enter Taurus, but still in Aries, and makes this square to Pluto. So these are fighting words. So just know, like, in addition to the moon's stressful aspects, there is just this argument. If you're feeling really hot and you don't really think or feel that solutions are possible and that anything good's going to come out of it, try and postpone that argument at least until 7:09 p.m. when Mercury enters Taurus, because then the earth component to Mercury makes it feel more grounded. Yes, it is the sign of the bull. Yes, Mercury and Taurus people can be really stubborn. Hell hath no fury, like telling anyone with Taurus placements what to do. But it is level-headed. It is more like, okay, because she's answering to Venus, or Mercury will be answering to Venus when it enters Taurus. And Venus is in Pisces, wanting to just dream, connect, and float and relate and harmonize. And, she's answering to Jupiter and Neptune. So it's just like, okay, let's, at least give yourself till after 7:09 p.m. If you don't, even if you want to wait till later, because the Leo moon has the harsh aspects. You might even want to wait till, Tuesday afternoon or Wednesday to really like have it out in a more productive way, in a not so heated way. Now, the last little bit that I want to leave you with is that this week is particularly rare because the North Node is direct all week long. Monday through Friday, the node is direct. So that is fated events, fated conversations, fated meetings, fated anything. If you want to launch something, you want to talk about something this week, you have an idea, whether it's, all the way shaped, or not, give yourself the Thursday to really form the idea, and on Friday, let it out, share it. But when you have the node direct, this is a week to really get yourself out there, to be out in the world, to send emails, send pitches, make proposals, because we're just in a fated time when you've got the node direct. Now, the node, because it's typically in retrograde motion. Now, typically we get maybe 1 day, 2 days here and there. In March, we only had, I think, 3 days of the node direct. So the fact that we have 5 days straight with the node direct means this is a week that you want to just keep. You just want to keep your momentum, get more things out, have those conversations, make those pitches, make those proposals. And as I'm saying this out loud, I'm like, oh my gosh, I was just talking with one of my friends about having questions about something that I want to do. And now I'm sitting here looking and going to Graham, hello. So I'm about to take my own advice. And I hope you do too. And I hope you have an amazing week. And I hope that you are on the newsletter. And I hope that you're on Twitter, because we got daily horoscopes going out every single day. And just some fun conversations as it pertains to astrology. And I hope you're on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed on YouTube, click that subscribe button. Just search Drunk Astrology. You'll see the logo. You'll see me. And that's it, folks. Have a wonderful week. I will catch you on all the other social media networks, and I'll see you next week. Peace.